I realized, that God had his hand over me, because most people that get shot in the back of the head don't live to talk about it.
John Hindle's happiest memories of childhood were those times spent with his mother and grandparents. But life suddenly changed for John when his mother decided to remarry.
My stepfather wasn't abusive physically, but emotionally he was. I'd rather have no father at all than what I grew up with. We moved out to Harford County, and I started attending a public school. That's when I was introduced to drugs. And the first day that I got high, it was the escape I was looking for. By the 10th grade, I started dealing just to, not to make a profit, but so I wouldn't have to pay for it. Once I graduated from high school, it was off to the races. I more or less thought that this was going to be my way of life.
John and his friends quickly turned from the party scene to the crime scene in order to feed their growing addiction.
On April 25th, 1983, that's when everything came to a halt. We decided to rob the pharmacy in Jacksonville, and everybody got out of the car. Paul got out with a gun, and he went back toward the back. I stayed by the door. An off-duty policeman came out with a double-wide buck shotgun, and when I looked up, when I saw the shotgun, that's when I panicked. And as we were driving away, the next thing I know, we were heading toward a wall, and we crashed into the wall. I remember a buzzing, or a ringing in my ear, and I just thought it was just because of the impact. And I got out of the car and said, "Don't shoot." And I hit a field and just started running, and that's when I saw a helicopter, had a searchlight going back and forth. I made it to a shed that night, a residential neighborhood. I was running my hand through my hair, and when I looked at my hand, when I looked down, it was full of blood, and that's when I realized I was shot.
Months of hospitalization and surgery healed John's head wound, but a different type of healing was taking place in his heart.
I was sentenced to 8 years at Hagerstown. After things settled down, that's when I got on my hands and knees and cried out to God and begged his forgiveness for the way I treated my body, the way I treated my family, and I just surrendered everything to the Lord at that time. I ended up spending 5 years in prison, and I told the Lord, the day I got out, that I would live for him.
Now walking down a different path, John sees the hand of God in his life and rejoices in his many blessings.
I remember when I was sentenced to prison, I thought that, my life was over. I would have no normal type of lifestyle. But because of God's grace in my life, that I met a woman, she's the love of my life now. It'll be 11 years that we've been married, and God has blessed us with 3 beautiful children, a great career, and he's also blessed us with a beautiful home. Life couldn't be any greater than it is right now.
Forgiven and healed, John is a testament to God's grace and mercy.
One of the scriptures that always comes to my mind is that if any man be in Christ, he is a new creation. Old things are passed away, and behold, all things become new. Now, instead of a biological father, I have a heavenly Father right now that has forgiven me and has given me a second chance. God does answer prayers. He's still alive, and he'll restore, and he'll forgive, and he'll forget.